afternoon, folks. Welcome to our guests. These Sharpies. I want to welcome Premier Akeeagok of Nunavut. We're going to sign this joint statement here together. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this joint statement, this strategic economic and energy corridor, this is about working together as premiers across borders to build up Canada, to have a future of our country where Indigenous peoples have a seat at the table. And we all work together as Canadians to build up this country that we love so much. Alors cette annonce, c'est un projet où nous travaillerons ensemble en tant que les premiers ministres des provinces et territoires pour bâtir ce pays ensemble, pour avoir un pays où les peuples autochtones ont une participation directe en les décisions qui sont prises et surtout en bâtir un pays qui marche pour tout le monde, comme les Canadiens et Canadiennes.
Ja, si voudrais pas mettre Yann Megalo Tavunga, Tunga Sutikavinga, Tavane, Tunga Sutitautuarat, Tapulaga Simayagon. Kisiani taman angi jorjuama pidreakan na taman na yo in tautuga hakatasima matakan no takwa pivatlerum narotivon ayaw tutawin na datamata ilisakit yapa katekwa tautuga jorjuala simayan man na motikit yo tapaniga yang intatarata kisiani tana pekan na jorjuata wa koyan namik yapa ayaw tukatigin nakakutakon Kanata Sivunitino Kayusigunang Kalomanga. First off, it's an honor to be here. Always great to be able to work with you, really as Canadians. It's what a historic moment that we're in. I just really want to recognize the incredible leadership that has brought us here. This has been the vision of many Inuit leaders that wanted to connect southern Canada to the north. And this is nation building, and so we're very excited to be able to work with such an incredible partner. We already share many of our common interests, from healthcare to education, among others, but now to be able to look at what we could do together really excites me. So I'm very honored to be here and to be welcomed to your beautiful province. So,
well, welcome to Manitoba, and let's put pen to paper. Trade you. All right. Keep the photo up. It's a pleasure and it's an honor.
Likewise.
So we look forward to building up Canada together, Manitoba, Nunavut, all our neighbors, everybody in the country. So we're happy to take a few questions before we move on to the formal part of our meeting.
Is there an updated price tag? The last we heard was about 1.6 billion, and what percentage of that are you looking for from the federal government?
Yeah, first off, very excited on this initiative. It's one where we have jointly identified with Inuit as being one of the nation building projects we see in the north. There's never been the attention as we're seeing happen to the north. So there's a moment in time that we're in, and we're very proud Canadians up in Nunavut. And so identifying this project is one where we see a strong alignment. Just want to recognize the incredible leadership that's actually here as well from Nunavut Tungavik, from the Regional Inuit Association, as well as the Development Corporation, who's leading this very exciting initiative. So that conversation is continuing. The biggest challenge that we faced was actually to get to this moment in terms of identifying the potential firm power to be able to get brought up to the territory. So those are conversations that we will have with the proponent, which is Nukik Corporation, but we called on Canada to invest in this. We are at a moment. There's never been a more important time that we build our country from coast to coast to coast And so we see this as an incredible opportunity where Canada could really step up. We see our very good friend from Manitoba step up in terms of allocating the potential firm power. We see ourselves as a government really step up to identify this being the key area where we want to see investments in, and now we call on Canada. But specifically to that question, I think it'd be important to get Nukik to be able to speak to the specific amount, but one where we do see Canada really playing a big role here.
Yeah, I think the big step for us as a province is that we're at the table. Mm-hmm. We're coming to the table and we're showing that we're serious about this because it's a nation-building project. And this is a moment that we're in where all Canadians are thinking about how do we build up our country and make it more resilient. Well, making sure that we have a strong presence in the north and the Arctic is how we stay strong and free as Canadians. And I hope Canadians realize that this is also a step towards other trade corridors with Western Canada. And having access to tidewater, having access to Nunavut allows our neighbors in the prairies, our neighbors in other provinces to be able to access international markets. So there's a really strong Canadian interest here. I want to acknowledge the Northern First Nations in our province, Dene communities in particular, who've made it very clear that they want to be engaged in this. So we're going to work with them to get their support and also send that clear message that we respect the caribou, and the fact that we have a premier in Nunavut who understands the way of life, is a hunter himself. I think it shows that Canada is ready to move forward into the next stage of development. Economic development that has a sustainable path forward, but also a development for our country where everyone's at the table.
Where will the rest of the power come from for this project? I believe it's 150 megawatts that is needed. You could answer Premier in English and with that.
Yeah, first off, Nunavut, as many Canadians probably don't know, we're actually 100% dependent on diesel right now. 25 communities right now rely on diesel in terms of providing that firm power. We have been working hard to explore and see what we could do. It's been great to see Inuit-led initiatives such as this one with the Kivalliq Hydro-Fibre Link bring a potential solution to our challenge that we see. We all want to transition to the green energy around. When we talk about climate change, we are the first to see it. We are the first to feel it. And there's no more urgency than the one where we do want to transition to it. So right now, the power to 5 of the 7 Kivalliq communities has been identified with this particular project. But others, we are continually working on exploring different methods, and I know Minister Main has been a strong leader of wanting to continue to explore what other methods we might be able to use. But right now, the firm power that would guarantee us to be able to really put the switch off to then power the communities would be through this very transformative line. Which we understand is one of the cleanest in the world, really, of where that power comes from. So to your point, it'd be a blend. There's many other communities. There's 25 communities altogether. This is one that really excites us in terms of the potential around it. It won't happen immediately. There's a lot of work that's going to be required throughout this process. But that commitment for us to be able to sit down, to be able to have these conversations, is just the beginning of this relationship, and I'm looking forward to that.
What's on the agenda for today's meeting, and what do you hope to achieve with it?
Well, we hope to strengthen the relationship with Nunavut in many ways. We're a destination for healthcare, for post-secondary education, for shopping. And we'd love to do more trade with our northern neighbor and strengthen those ties. So part of the meeting today is going to be to talk about the clean energy project that we're working on together here. Northern First Nations in Manitoba want to get off diesel too, so we got a lot of work to sort out all the details of how we're going to work together. But the main message is we're at the table. We're committing 50 megawatts as a starting point. If there's a greater power need, we'll be up for that conversation. In terms of the price tag, these are things that we'll sort out with the federal government when they come to the table. I'm sure they will. because it's about nation building, it's about climate change, it's about the economy. There's so many opportunities that we open up when we work together as fellow Canadians. And when we think about that partnership between Manitoba and Nunavut, we would love to be a hub for healthcare and post-secondary and shopping and trade. So I think the next step for us domestically here in terms of this power arrangement is to work with the Northern First Nations in Manitoba to ensure that their perspectives are heard on getting off diesel and on caribou and on the route for this project. But the next step for us in terms of the partnership between Nunavut and Manitoba is to sign an MOU and have a joint cabinet meeting with our two governments so that we can take those next steps in strengthening the relationship for all Canadians, but also for our constituents. Yeah.
Do you think this would have happened if not for Trump and his tariffs?
I think we were off to a good start on working together. We had talked about the MOU and strengthening the partnership between Manitoba and Nunavut. But I think the reason why we're here putting pen to paper is because all Canadians know, after what they've heard from Trump for the past few months, that we need to really build up our country. And so working with the federal government alongside our province and territory and really opening up opportunities for all Canadians through this kind of investment, I think the urgency comes from what every Canadian's been seeing south of the border.
Just if I may as well, just to add, I think all Canadians are looking for certainty, and there's been no better partner that I've really enjoyed working with than WAB in terms of identifying key areas of mutual interest. We've identified priority areas, and I'm really hopeful in the next few weeks that we will be able to sign off on a MOU that clearly outline very clearly the different work plans we hope to achieve together. I've just spent the last few days here visiting the Ohutak Center or the Larga, the boarding home here, where we already rely and have such a deep relationship with the province in terms of providing very top-level healthcare to Nunavut. There's many Nunavut that choose this province for their post-secondary of choice. So that relationship has always been strong, and I think the work that we're hoping to do is to continue to build on that success that's already there. But tying into that, I think it's that certainty piece that we are at a moment in our history, and we're both stepping up to really demonstrate and lead with example of what we could do together when we work together. And there's so much potential when you look to the north. It has really been underdeveloped over the years. I always reference that nation building had happened from the east all the way to the west coast. I was lucky enough to even see the rail tracks today, seeing the train come through. And I don't think Canadians realize how fortunate they are that they've actually seen nation building when the country was being built. But that nation building isn't quite done. And that final third coast is one, and I really see the work that we're doing, whether it's the transmission line or the fiber link that's going to open up more opportunities for education, for healthcare, or even open up mines for critical minerals, as the world's wanting to see a lot more of that. So I think Nunavut and the North has so much to offer in terms of diversifying our Canadian economy, and it's through the leadership of our partnership that we are getting there, and I think today's just the beginning of what more will come in the future.
Has the province or territory committed a specific dollar amount to the project, or is that pending talks with the federal government?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Has the province or territory committed a firm dollar amount to this project, or is that to come after talks with the federal government?
Yeah, that's to come in the future. Today's we've identified that we will sit together at a table. We've identified this as a priority, but we welcome Ottawa to come to sit with us as well. There's an opportunity here where you have economic reconciliation with this being Inuit-led, Inuit-driven. You have all levels of government at the table, but we need Ottawa to be able to come to sit with us as well, and we look forward to welcoming them. But every indication is that we have heard that we are in a moment, and all the political leaders so far have identified that there's going to be significant investments come to corridors or nation building projects, and we really see this one aligning really well. but today is just about getting us to that next step of actually sitting down now.
Monsieur Kinew, aujourd'hui, l'Ontario, le Nouveau-Brunswick et la Nouvelle-Écosse, ils ont signé des attentes pour faire tomber les barrières provinciales. Est-ce que vous aussi, vous comptez signer des ententes pour faire tomber les barrières de libre-échange?
Oui, certainement. J'ai parlé avec M. Ford au début de semaine et puis il m'avait invité à Toronto pour signer ce document et j'ai dit, hey, je m'excuse, mais PJ va me voir cette semaine et on va faire notre propre deal pour bâtir le Canada. Alors, en tant que le Premier ministre de Manitoba et avec le Premier ministre de l'Ontario, oui, nous sommes d'accord et nous veulent signer la même sorte d'entente parmi nos provinces. Mais je pense que c'est juste un moment incroyable dans notre pays où il y a sur la même journée, pas juste un, mais plusieurs projets pour bâtir le Canada. On voit le Premier ministre Ford et Houston et Holt avec leurs documents. Puis moi, je suis aussi avec le Premier ministre Akeeagok pour avancer 7 projets pour bâtir le Canada. C'est un bon temps d'être un Canadien et il y a beaucoup d'opportunités. So maybe I'll just say that in English too, because there might be some interest amongst other reporters. And yeah, I spoke to Premier Ford earlier in the week, and he invited me to Queen's Park to sign on to this deal that he signed with Premiers Houston and Holt. And I said, Doug, I'd love to do it, but I got PJ coming to Manitoba, and we're doing our own nation-building project on the very same day. So what an amazing time to be a Canadian, where leaders from different parts of the country are stepping up to build Canada. We're knocking down interprovincial trade barriers, and yes, I intend to travel to Toronto and do the same work with Premier Ford just as soon as I can. But at the same time, we're talking about building infrastructure to build up the future of Canada, and that unlocks potential for people in Nunavut, people in Manitoba, people across the West, people across Canada. And so I'd say to Manitobans out there, the next time that you go to Polo Park, look at the Clarion. It's not the Clarion anymore, right? People from Nunavut have a significant economic impact here in our province today, and there's tons of opportunity to work together tomorrow. Manitobans have been really smart about investing in a low-carbon grid for the last 50 years, and now we can work together with our neighbors to the north to build up the country. They're sitting on a wealth of minerals, they're sitting on a wealth of human potential, and when we build an infrastructure project like this, it just unlocks so much more wealth and riches and opportunity for everybody, Manitobans, people in Nunavut, and all Canadians. So what a time to be alive, what a time to be Canadian.
Thanks, folks. We'll get to the real meeting now. And
Good stuff, huh? One more photo op for the still people.